What's up?
Yeah, go.
My name is Daniel Green, and this is my informative speech. How much do you know about your family history? Well, I would like to tell you a little bit about mine. I would like to tell you about my maternal grandma, Esperanza Amayo. She was born March 16th, 1928, in the Turner area of Kansas City, Kansas. Her parents immigrated from Mexico. Her father was drawn here by work on the railroads. Her father died when she was 9, but her family stayed together, bound by faith and the American dream. She was always proud of her American citizenship, even though at the time her country treated Mexican Americans as second-class citizens. After she graduated from the 8th grade at Turner Grade School, she married my grandpa Lupe Amayo. She was only 14 when he was 19. They were married for 59 years before my grandfather passed away in 2001. Not long after they first got married, my grandpa joined the Army and was a paratrooper in World War II. During World War II was the only time that my grandma ever had a job. She worked at a slaughterhouse. When my grandpa returned from the war, they began a family that included 7 children that were born over the span of 20 years. In the 1950s, my grandparents bought land across from Argentine High School Stadium, but 15 other neighbors petitioned the city asking that they be restricted from building there. My grandparents prevailed, but the experience was very hurtful for my grandmother. My grandma loved to write. Besides the fact that she only had an 8th grade education, she wrote very beautifully. She wrote letters on subjects from patriotism to recognizing the contributions of Mexican Americans in Kansas City. Her writings filled the editorial pages of the Kansas City Star. She wrote about Hispanic tragedies and triumphs for almost 50 years. The Kansas City Star Parade magazine honored her as the winner of the Tell America Story contest in 2006. For years, she researched Saturnino Alvarado, a civil rights activist who in the 1920s successfully petitioned for his children to attend Argentine High School. His efforts to integrate the school were not well known until my grandma shined more light onto the subject. In 2003, the Kansas City, Kansas School District renamed Argentine Middle School Auditorium the Saturnino Alvarado Auditorium, which led to his induction into the Mid-America Education Hall of Fame. There is a plaque in one of the main hallways at the Kansas City, Kansas Community College dedicated to Saturnino Alvarado that has a brief statement about him written by my grandma. My grandma also petitioned the unified government of Wyandotte County and the city of Kansas City, Kansas to rededicate the Argentine Community Center in honor of her brother-in-law, Joe Amayo. Joe Amayo worked with Mexican American youths and helped Mexican American veterans to find a place to meet when white American Legion groups shut them out. Esperanza was considered the unofficial historian of Argentina by many people that were close to her. She inspired the younger generation to discover the history that happened in their own backyard of Argentina. My grandma taught me many things about my heritage and the struggles that Mexican Americans went through when she was growing up. My grandma taught me to appreciate everything that I have and to appreciate the value of a dollar. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have the house I live in now. She taught me to better myself any way that I can and to never give up on anything that I really wanted. She was a very special person to me and taught me many life lessons that I use today. Esperanza Amayo passed away March 21st, 2011. Her stories and her abundance of knowledge will be greatly missed. Esperanza in English means hope, which suited her very well. That's it.